Down with the sickness. You down with the sickness, my friend?
Down with MMA Sickness, my friend.
So, I think the biggest news right now, when we're legitly hours away from weigh-ins,
Right.
is arguably one of the biggest fights. I mean, you got champ.
It's one of the biggest cards.
For sure. Madison Square again.
And, I mean, it's loaded from top to bottom, is the thing. It's pretty loaded from where it was 6 months ago.
Where it was 6 weeks ago?
Where it was...
Where Valentina Shevchenko versus Sijara Eubanks was the headliner.
Now, I know you were excited to see that, but I'm sorry to say, that was pulling nobody. Nobody was interested.
Nobody. And did you see that now Sijara is on the co-main of the prelims?
That makes sense.
Sure, but you go from headlining Madison Square Garden on Tuesday.
Right.
And dinner with your family on Thursday to celebrate. You are the co-main, not even the main, but the co-main of the prelims.
Well, that's where she belongs.
For sure.
I don't know what they were thinking. Was it just a ploy to get people to look at the card again?
Because we were waiting to see if Derek Lewis won?
Was that even the plan? I don't know. I mean, was Dana waiting for Derek Lewis to win? I don't know.
Or was there legitly just not even any sort of plan with DC involved until everybody's like, no, we can't do this with Sijara?
I think it came down to a point where Dana literally saw that nobody was interested. And
he took a lot of heat.
He was looking for the knight in shining armor, and he had to call
the champ.
The champ. Who else is going to say, okay, I'll fight anybody with everything on the line in 6 weeks?
Which then also, let's not forget, puts him still within medical suspension time to be cleared by March to fight Brock.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is,
because
God, he has balls.
You fight Derek Lewis, you need to assume you're going to have some sort of medical suspension.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, it takes one shot, and that's it.
Did you see him with Megan O'Leary today?
I didn't. What was going on there?
It was hilarious. So, of course, he was talking about how he doesn't really do interviews. And she's like, well, laughing, well, thank you. But she goes, what's DC's game plan? And Derek Lewis goes, well, I think DC's game plan is going to be to try to tire me out, because he doesn't think I have the stamina.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, he literally goes, which I don't fucking blame him.
Yeah, everybody knows his game plan. It's going to be put you on your ass and tire you out.
And, I mean, again, Derek Lewis cannot go 5 rounds.
With DC, he won't go 2.5.
So you're calling it that quick?
Probably not, just because the fact that how's DC going to finish him? He's going to have to choke him, because, I mean, can he knock... Well, I don't know. He knocked Stipe out, so I guess he could knock anybody out on the planet at this point.
When he's heavyweight, he was doing a lot of knockouts. We forget the power that DC had before he dropped to light heavy.
Technically, he's a natural heavyweight.
And, look at the guy.
He looks like a heavyweight at 205, regardless.
So he's got this extra power that then knocks out Stipe, who, baddest man on the planet.
With a short punch, by the way. That wasn't wound up. That wasn't Roy Nelson, Chuck Liddell wound up. That was clean. It was clean and it was short, which is bizarre to see.
And he weathered the storm in that fight, and that was a good fight.
Right.
It was. It wasn't a quick 46-second Junior Dos Santos versus Kane knockout and you're the champ. They fought. Right. They fought a bit.
Yeah.
And so. I agree. I think DC wins. I think DC doesn't try to do too much, though. I think DC slows down and tries to tire him out.
I think DC takes this fight because he sees it safe. He sees the chink in the armor, which is a big one.
Yeah.
It's cardio, and he's got no takedown D.
Yeah.
He's got no wrestling defense.
Can't get back up.
He's not going to get back up. Daniel knows that. He's going to go in there. He's going to get a payday, and he's going to get one more notch in the belt in the legacy, which is what this guy is. This is what this guy does.
Yeah.
It's what he wants to do. He wants to make that legacy to where everybody looks back in 10 years and says, that guy was the best. That's what he's doing this fight for.
Agreed. Because
in my opinion.
For sure. The Brock fight isn't a legacy fight. I mean, that's Brock. That's a money fight.
That's a payday.
That is a payday before I retire.
But as I'm talking about it right now, I'm getting excited about it. He knows what the fans want to see.
And that is that. But again, do we still have that fight if he loses?
That fight goes on. Well,
or does Brock fight Derek Lewis?
Hell no. Brock doesn't want to fight Derek Lewis. Not because he's afraid of Derek Lewis. Brock Lesnar's not afraid of anybody on the planet. Let's just say that. That's 100% truth. Brock's also coming back for a payday. Brock's not coming back for legacy. Brock said, I'm going to come back, and it was going to be either Stipe, John Jones, or Cormier.
Well, John Jones is back.
The 3 paydays. So, is that an option? If DC loses and John Jones is clear, 2 guys coming off steroid suspensions or whatever you want to call these suspensions that they're under right now.
Right.
Is that an option then? Do those 2 fight?
Right. I mean, I think if DC loses, the DC Brock fight doesn't happen. Because I think it loses its...
Wow.
I think it loses its luster. Because Brock comes back for a chance at the heavyweight belt. Like, that's the money, right?
Yeah.
It's a championship fight. It's not a catch weight, whatever. It's Brock Lesnar fighting for the championship belt against the greatest fighter in the UFC.
I see where you're coming from there. I absolutely. Brock is coming for money. He's also coming for the title. But from Dana White's standpoint, even if Cormier doesn't have the title, does Derek Lewis sell as much as Cormier even without the title?
No.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. Brock John Jones does.
That was going to be my next question. Does Brock Cormier
trump Brock Jones
sell more than Brock Jones regardless?
If it's for
no
the belt.
title.
Not without the belt.
Not without the belt.
No.
Okay.
No,
I agree with you there.
Without the belt, it would be Brock and Jones would be the payday. Right now, with the belt, it's and the retirement fight for the heavyweight championship. Like, all the cards fall into perfect place for the UFC and for WME. I mean, for the business. Because if DC wins and beats Brock, like, it's epic. It's sold out everywhere. It's a headlining fight. You know, it's crazy. He wins. He retires as the champ. Like, He loses to Brock. Now Brock Lesnar is the new UFC heavyweight champ. DC retires as the light heavyweight champ. And now, guess what? John Jones fights for the heavyweight belt against Brock Lesnar. So it's a win-win-win for that fight. I think if Derek Lewis loses or wins this fight against DC, I don't think that's the fight.
Okay, let's say DC wins, fights Brock in, let's say, March.
Yep. Because he's made it very clear.
That's
March.
The fight. Right.
March
right.
is.
I think we're all
done in March.
We're all on the same page. That's the fight.
Right.
What are the chances that? Okay, let's say all that falls into place. Now Brock wins.
Okay.
Is Brock gonna go GSP
and retire
and disappear and go back to the WWE and wrestle twice a year and continue his paydays?
No.
Do we know a contract that he's under?
Nope.
Right now.
But here's why. The whole time before DC was champ, what was the fight that Brock was coming back for? Brock versus John Jones.
It was gonna. Well, that was the speculation.
But John went and did his whole whatever, did John Jones. So that kind of fell by the wayside, and then DC steps up as the baddest man on the planet twice over, in light heavy and heavy, and now it sets this whole new game plan. And now you involve a whole separate aspect of NCAA division champs, wrestlers,
Yeah.
Let's fight.
Yeah.
But, so I think if he wins, he beats DC, he's the champ, he would be stupid because the payday of a Brock Lesnar, John Jones super fight, if you will, because John Jones going into heavyweight to fight for the belt, I think becomes the biggest seller. I think that starts to rival McGregor fights.
God, I can't say you're not correct there. I'm just looking on Brock Lesnar's eyes. The guys he has the biggest difficulty with are longer, more versatile guys. I think the Cormier fight is a lot safer for him. So if
because he figures we're going to wrestle.
We're going to wrestle, and we're going to throw short, dirty punching boxing.
Right.
Which Brock, out of any of his boxing, his short, dirty boxing is
he's throwing
insane.
Freaking turkeys at you.
He's throwing bear claws at you.
Ridiculous.
Exactly. So I'm not on the same page as saying that if he wins, he's going to fight John Jones. I said earlier, he's not afraid of anybody.
He's not.
I think he might be afraid to fight John Jones.
I think anybody would be stupid not to be afraid to fight John Jones.
I think if you're a human being that's ever seen the guy perform, you're afraid to fight him.
And on the same end, you're afraid to fight Brock Lesnar.
Is John Jones afraid to
Yes.
You think so?
Everybody's afraid to fight Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar ran the freaking 40 in like 4.4 seconds in the combine.
Yeah, his combine scores are
265.
His combine scores are scary.
That is a freak.
And if anybody out there hasn't looked up Brock Lesnar's combine scores,
oh my god,
go ahead, look those up because it's unnatural.
Literally see what a freight train would do if it had the torque to be able to go that fast off the line.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a monster. Monster.
His vertical, everything about that. Just go out there, look at it, guys. If you're not sold on Brock Lesnar as a freak, go check it out because it's unreal.
That's a 260, 275 at that time. Now, obviously, he's walking around like 320.
I was gonna say I think he was walking around at probably 330 when he made Daniel Cormier look like a baby in the octagon.
But during the combine, he was 265, 275.
Sure, fresh out of college.
And chasing down 135 pound wide receivers.
Yeah.
Chasing down NFL wide receivers.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, he played for, I believe it was the Vikings?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for the Minnesota Vikings.
Just unreal. Unreal. But, okay. So, back to the task at hand. DC or Derek Lewis? You think DC does it?
I think that's the only reason DC takes the fight is because he knows he can handle Derek Lewis. I think Derek Lewis knows DC can handle him. But Derek Lewis also is saying, it's a payday, and I'm fighting for the belt. Derek Lewis at this point should not be fighting for the belt, in my opinion. He had he had a good showing, right? He didn't look good until he landed 3 punches in a row.
He was getting beat.
He was getting beat and handily. He did not look good. He looked slow. Every time I see the guy, I wish he had a little bit of cardio. He says it every time. Oh, I didn't get good cardio in. Work it then.
Right.
And come in shape, please.
Now, I agree. I think he needed to beat one more top guy to get a shot. But he's been on a roll. He's been knocking people out. But here's the thing, is I don't think Derek Lewis ever becomes top 3.
He's fighting for the belt right now. Why would he not be considered
Well, he's number
top
2.
3?
He's number 2. So, I think that's where he stays.
Wait, they have him ranked number 2 right now.
Yeah, he's ranked number 2.
Wow.
Because who? Obviously, Stipe is number 1, and he's number 2.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
I guess.
But here's the thing: I don't think he doesn't beat either one of those guys. He doesn't beat DC. He doesn't beat Stipe.
I don't think he has a shot in hell at beating Stipe.
Nope.
Stipe is an athlete. Derek Lewis is
a big dude.
He's a big dude. Who has a fighting chance in any fight.
Absolutely.
He has that's what Derek Lewis has made a career on.
Yep.
He has a fighting chance every time he steps in the octagon, and that's about it.
And don't get me wrong, he is fun to watch. He is fun to listen to.
That's the key.
I love his media, even though he doesn't like to do it. He says crazy stuff. It's hilarious. He's a good dude. He's a really good dude. Going into his personal life.
Right.
Did you watch videos of him during the hurricanes? Going around in his big lifted truck, saving people?
See, I heard about it. I did not see it.
Great guy through and through. I just don't. Like you said, it's a puncher's chance. You know, he can knock anybody out on the planet.
Yeah.
But it's Stipe and DC both have very, very high fight IQs, and I think they avoid that punch.
Okay. I think what this comes down to is if they didn't need a headliner for this, Derek Lewis is not fighting Daniel Cormier for the title. I think there was something else in the works, and me and you had a lot of theories on that.
Sure.
There was something else in the works that fell out.
A lot of things.
What do you think? I think it has to do something with Conor McGregor. You know, he goes out there.
Diaz?
He goes out there, beats Khabib with a one round knockout. Now he's fighting on that. Derek Lewis is nowhere to be seen. Right. Something else.
They step up Diaz
or multiple people fell out.
For sure. How is Nate Diaz not even the co-main event of this? He is the co-author of one of the biggest pay-per-views in history, and he's not even the co-main event? He's the second fight of the night or third fight of the night?
I can't figure it out either, because the guy has a following. Whether you love him or hate him, people pay to watch that guy fight, and his brother, and they always have been, and they always will, because you want to see what these guys are going to do. Because they talk the trash, you want to see if they're going to back it up.
You love him or hate him, but you watch him.
You watch him. Exactly. Right. It's just like the Patriots. Either love him or hate him. You end up watching the freaking game. I don't know why, but you end up watching the game.
So, I'm going to get a little bold on you here.
Okay.
I say it's DC in 2.
Round 2?
Or less. Under 2 rounds.
What are you saying? TKO?
Yeah.
Too many punches without anything answered back? I can agree with that.
I think he's knocking him out. Or he's knocking him out, or he's laying him down and TKO.
I could see TKO. I don't see KO. I mean, Derek Lewis just went through. I mean, that guy was lighting him up. He ate some knees. In the heavyweight division, people don't eat knees in the heavyweight division and just walk through it. The guy's got a chin.
TKO in the first or second. If it goes 3, 4, or 5, he's going to knock him out. He's going to knock him out. He is going to be so tired from DC constantly laying on him and getting hit in the face because he doesn't know what defense is. He doesn't block stuff.
No, he does no.
And so DC is going to tag him, and if he's that tired, he's going down. But I think it ends quicker than that. I think DC does what he did to Stipe.
You think he knocks Derek Lewis out cold?
I think he knocks him out or TKOs. Knocks him down and then jumps on him and TKO.
I would say TKO for sure. I
think quick. I think first or second round.
I could see that.
I think if Derek Lewis,
there's no way this fight's going 3.
If Derek Lewis doesn't win in the first or second round, he's not gonna.
Absolutely.
Derek Lewis is not gonna win a decision against Daniel Cormier.
A 5-round decision?
He's not gonna win a decision against Daniel Cormier. Not. He's not gonna win any form of decision. He's not gonna out wrestle Daniel Cormier. So Derek Lewis's only shot is knocking him out. He has to knock DC out.
And again, he's got a fighting chance. He could do it.
Of course, he does, for sure.
I mean, the issue is, God, he is slow, and Daniel Cormier has not been fighting slow fighters. He's been in light heavyweight. He's got good head movement. He's got good defense, and his wrestling is the best out of anybody that's ever stepped in the octagon. Let's be honest.
Daniel Cormier picked up Dan Henderson over his head.
Man, you had to bring that up.
Dan Henderson is one of the greatest wrestlers in MMA history.
Yeah, God, yeah, you had to bring me back to that because when that happened,
I was heartbroken.
A piece of me died that day.
It was just disrespectful to Dan.
Like, you don't do that to Dan Henderson, okay? But yeah, you're right. He picked Dan up.
Over end.
He laid
him down.
He embarrassed him.
That was Anderson Silva, Stephan Bonner embarrassment. Like, you picked him up and threw him like a rag doll.
I like that analogy. That was the equivalent of that.
Unreal.
That was Anderson Silva, Forrest Griffin, striking, but translated to wrestling.
Right.
It was just
100%.
Oh my gosh.
Right, exactly. So, all right. So second, the co-main is going to be Souza versus Weidman.
Right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about this fight?
I'm going to go lukewarm. I'm going to go 6.5, maybe a 7. Just because I'm a Weidman fan.
Right.
I'm a Souza fan. just because I know anytime the guy steps in, it's going to be what he says. It's going to deliver. Right. Weidman, on the other hand, I'm an American. I kind of tend to roll that way, to be honest.
I mean, I don't think Chris Weidman gets his dues, if you will. I mean, the dude has beat legends. But it's been in weird circumstances, right?
Well, and it's 2018 now.
Yeah.
And when he was beating legends, I would say this fight's a 9.5.
Right.
It's not 2015.
Right.
So the hype on it goes down quite a bit, honestly.
So does this have title implications? Does the winner of this fight get a shot?
I think on name value for sure. It does. They're probably number 6 and number 4 in the division.
I think 9.
9?
Isn't it 9?
I mean, if it is, there's a lot of up and comers coming around.
3 and 5. Chris is 3.
Okay.
Souza's 5.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking 3 and 6 just off the top of my head.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. Chris Weidman's got a lot of face value. I think he sells a lot of pay-per-views in America. And Souza, everybody wants to see that guy because he can throw bombs, and that's kind of what he does. And he's going to break somebody's arm. And that's what he does.
Yeah.
So I think it does have a lot of value as a co-main. It's a little underwhelming for this card just because when it was announced, I think everybody that's a true MMA fan was really looking for something
big names from Madison Square.
Right?
Right. So, I mean, who do you go with? Do you go with the wrestler or do you go with the jiu-jitsu guy?
When it comes to Chris versus Jacare, God, I'm more of a Chris fan, but I think Jacare on paper looks a little bit better. He's got a little bit more power. Once it comes down to grappling, if Chris can get him there, which I don't know if Chris can, because Jacare, he's powerful all the way around. If he can get him down, Chris can win this fight. If it stays standing, Jacare is going to win that fight 4 out of 5 times.
So Jacare has almost a 60%, 58% takedown defense.
Okay.
So he's taking down more than most.
Sure.
Or he's stopping the takedown more than most.
Right.
And I think Weidman's got about a 51% takedown average.
Okay.
So
that's almost a dead heat there.
I mean,
okay.
What? Chris Weidman gets 1 takedown to every, 4 attempts?
Even if he goes 50-50, Jacare is probably going to pop up.
And Jacare is not scared to go to his back.
No, I don't think he is. He's just not somebody that you really see on his back very often.
Right.
So, who knows? If he is there, maybe he's vulnerable. But Chris Weidman is not really somebody that's going to put you on your back and wait for you to turtle over and then take your back.
No.
And he's going to look to dirty.
He's going to grind.
He's going to grind on you.
Right.
And Jacare is not somebody that's just going to give up because somebody's grinding.
And he's got... I'm not worried about gas tanks in this fight whatsoever. I think both cardio for both of these fighters is... For a 3-round fight, is I'm pretty sure both of them can go pretty full blast for 3 rounds without tiring out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys are world-class athletes. We're not talking about heavyweights. We're that middleweight division. These guys will be able to go. The question is it going to go that far? With Jacare, I don't think so.
So who do you got? What round? What do you got? Let's see it.
Honestly, on this card, this is probably the hardest one for me to predict. I'm going to say this is going to go 3 rounds. It's going to go to a decision. I think it's going to go Weidman. I think it's going to be close. I think Jacare is going to get the first. Weidman's going to grind him. Second and third. It's going to go to a decision. What do you think?
So I was definitely on board with the decision. Honestly, I think maybe just to kind of fight you a bit there.
Sure.
I think Souza taps him.
Ooh.
I think Jacare...
How though? What? What's he going to do?
I think Chris...
It's not going to be an armbar.
No, I think Chris gets in I think Chris gets into trouble somewhere, makes a wrestling move that gets caught in a guillotine.
Gives up his back or something,
gives up his back. You know, trying to go down, and then in a scramble, Souza whips around. I think Jacare kind of takes him. I think, again, it's hard because I know Chris beats legends, but it just seems like he wins in weird ways when he shouldn't.
No, you're right. You're right. Along the lines of if Chris does get into trouble, I think if Chris gets into any type of deep water, it's over.
Yeah.
I don't see Chris recovering.
Agreed. So, obviously the third fight of this card should have been Nate Diaz and
Versus
Dustin
who?
the Diamond Poirier.
Oh, the Diamond. Okay,
Diamond.
yeah.
First off, let's how the fuck does Dustin the Diamond Poirier get to fight Nate Diaz? I'm so... Dustin Poirier has been great.
I'm honestly just as surprised as you are. He's a good fighter, but he draws about as many people to the arena as a 12-year-old cheer team. About 4 fucking people, okay?
Nate Diaz is co-author to one of the largest pay-per-views of all time. And now he's not the main event, not the co-main event, but the setup to be the third fight against Dustin the Diamond Poirier.
And I'm gonna go back to this. You may not want to go there, but I honestly think that they put Nate on this card because they thought Conor was gonna win that fight, and they were gonna instantly prop that third fight. Now that Conor lost that fight, guess what? Nate's fucking gone.
Well,
Nate's gone.
Dustin got injured.
Oh, there's a lot of guys. Now that the WME era is all around, there's a lot of setups and a lot of weird things going on. That's another story for another day. But I'm saying that this whole card stinks of
failure.
and setup that didn't go their way because it's not WWE. You have to have this guy win, and you can't write it in fights.
Now, okay, so let's quickly touch on this. Do you think the UFC is turning into WWE? My take on it is this. I don't believe that it's fake. I don't believe that we're setting things up. What I do believe this is a business. I do believe we need to make money. And I think that we place pawns in certain areas to where if this outcome happens, we can go with a separate outcome, which then gets a little WWE-ish, if you will.
Exactly. And I don't want anything that I just said to be misconstrued as they're writing it and setting it up. It is a business. And if they can, they're going to set it up, as you put it, to get those cards to fall into place the way they want it. I'm not saying they're writing the fights, but I'm saying they are setting certain things into place to get the hopes
of this
to get the
big
bang events.
I'd agree. I think a lot more of that has happened after the WME.
It's clear. I mean, honestly, if you've been in it with everybody like we have been, you can see the differences. It's not a bad thing, but when it doesn't go their way, it turns
into this.
It leaves you with a Madison Square Garden card
with Valentina Shevchenko headlining
with Eubanks, who hasn't fought professionally at any good level, the headliner at Madison Square Garden.
Her one fight that she didn't make weight for.
She was 8 pounds. Oh, was
How
it 16?
Do you 7 pounds over?
It was 8 or 7 pounds.
How?
As a professional, that's ridiculous.
That's borderline like you're fired. Like, go away.
If this was Dana White in 2009...
Oh, you're done.
You're done.
Honestly,
Bye.
Honestly, let's be honest with this situation. If this was a guy's middleweight, do you think he would still be in the UFC? With the depth of talent in that...
The way it is now, maybe.
I don't think
5 years ago, bye.
I don't think so. I think part of the reason that she's even there after something that massive is because that pool is not that deep yet. They don't have massive amounts of women of that weight class waiting to fight. So
no, they don't. They
need the fighters.
And that is a problem for that division and, the women's division in general.
They
want to keep the talent and keep it growing, and I understand that 100%. But do you, at any point, put them a headliner?
No.
That was a weird move. It just showed that there's something else in the works.
I think women can headline.
Absolutely.
I think Ronda headline. I think Misha can headline anything. I think
it's not the question that women can headline. The question is,
woman should not
can these two headline?
No.
And the answer was a unanimous no. And it's nothing against them. It's nothing against their talent.
And Daddy Dana came back and agreed and said, I heard you guys. Nobody wants to see this fight.
Yeah, it came down to the fans. And at the end of the day, like we just said, it is a business, so you have to set up pieces. And it wasn't time for them yet. So, those two go out, have a couple of barn burner fights.
Yay.
They're headlining a pay-per-view in the middle of 2019, no doubt. But off their resume, Madison Square Garden, I don't think so.
No. I for sure. So, Dustin gets hurt, gets pulled off the card. Now, this is before the main event is still announced. So, at that point...
Right.
So at that point, you were like, hey, what's going to happen? So, at that point, we're like, the Conor fight hadn't happened yet. Or it had just happened. And we were kind of like, hey, what are we going to do now? There's no fight for Nate. Is it going to be Conor? Is it going to be Khabib?
Well, at that point, everything was still up in the air.
Yeah.
The headliner wasn't even...
So now, nothing. Nate's not on the card. Dustin's obviously hurt. What do we think's next for Nate? I mean, does Nate get a fight soon? Or is it, hey, again, Nate's never been... Well, he did. Nick's never been about a title. Nate's kind of been like, yeah, I'll fight for the title. Does Nate fight Khabib soon? Does Nate get that fight?
I think.
How does Nate not get that fight?
I think Nate right now, the best thing for his career and the best thing for the UFC right now is for him to fight Conor.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just saw the look on your face.
The rubber match.
You didn't even register it, and that's the fight. That's the whole setup right now. I'm telling you right now, that's the setup. Because that's going to sell more tickets than Conor Khabib. Everybody who's on the outside is talking Conor Khabib. The real fight...
Which sets up, if Conor wins, there's the rematch.
It doesn't sell as much as Nate does. I'm telling you right now.
I agree. The rubber match with Nate is for sure.
I haven't looked at the numbers.
Yeah.
Have you looked at the numbers? I don't know. Did Conor Khabib sell more than Conor Nate? I don't know. I'm going to say... Either. Based on how many people I know outside of what we talk about on a daily basis,
right?
It didn't. But if it did, man, I just think Conor Nate number 3 sells more than Conor Khabib 2. What do you think?
I think everybody wants to see that rubber match. I think that second fight really, really irked a lot of people because they thought that Nate won that fight. That was a very close decision that a lot of people gave to Nate Diaz. And seeing that happen, everybody wants that rubber match. I think everybody wanted that rubber match more than they wanted the Khabib-Conor fight which again was going to be the most epic fight of all time.
Oh, I would agree with you 100%. The Conor Khabib was a big deal, but to true MMA fans, we wanted Conor Nate 3 just so we can be over it.
For sure.
Just so we can get it done.
Who is it? Yeah.
I mean, gosh. You go back to these great trilogies. You go back to Chuck Tito. You go back to Matt Hughes.
Chuck Tito, which by the way is this month. Chuck Tito 3. We don't have time to get into Chuck Tito 3.
We're not going to talk Chuck Tito 3.
But that is happening, and that is a real fight.
Hey, a fan fighter. I'm mixing
Fight for the fans.
It's a fight for the fans.
A lot of Long Islands tonight, I understand.
Yeah. Everybody loves that fight. If you're a fight fan from the beginning, you understand the implications there.
Right. So... not replacing that fight, but stepping up into that fight becomes David Brantz versus Jared Cannonier. Now that's an interesting fight.
It is.
Who do you got on that one? I mean, Branch is ranked. Cannonier's not. But Cannonier throws freaking bombs.
Cannonier's a guy. He really throws the bombs. He throws the wild haymaker bombs. Branch kind of came in on that same level when he started. When he came in, he was a little bit wild, a little bit crazy.
Right.
He's kind of in that seasoned veteran status now, where he's gonna see that. In my opinion, he's gonna see that. He's gonna weather that storm. I think David Branch weathers that storm, wears him out, takes him down.
I think so too. I don't think.
Okay, I'm glad that we agree on that.
I don't think that's much of a fight, to be honest. I think Branch pretty much, I mean, by all the numbers, is going to win. He's got what, like 4 inches of reach on him. He's going to be the lankier fighter. He's way more seasoned, way more experienced.
Right, and I think it comes down to the season part. Because when Branch came in, he kind of had that same bravado, same situation going on as far as the way he fought. And he got bit quick when he came in. He got bit quick.
Right.
And he's grown up, and he's used his talent. I mean, he's a talented guy. Don't get me wrong. Cannonier's talented.
Sure.
But when you get in there, you get the adrenaline going.
Madison Square.
And you got Madison Square. You can get bit by your own bravado and adrenaline.
Yeah, 100%. I think that one, I mean, honestly, after the main and co-main event, I'm more excited about the opening fight. The following fight after that is going to be Robertson and Jack Marshman. But the fight that I'm much more excited about.
Let's skip that.
Much more excited about Derek Brunson versus Israel. Israel is legit.
Have you seen the fucking tape on this guy?
So I've
watched it all.
I was there live on 4th of July during
okay,
fight week.
Okay.
So I was there and saw his fight.
That's right. I forgot you were there live fight week. I forgot.
Great fight week.
Man.
Fight week was fantastic.
I forgot.
Fight week was definitely fun. His fight was super impressive. But I'll tell you what I was more impressed about. Next day, Sirius XM did a radio show with Misha Tate hosting and everything like that, and they brought in Israel. And I went to the live showing of it. I'm all of 3 feet away from him.
Right, so you're sitting next to Israel and Misha Tate.
Correct. And what I was more impressed about, even more than his fight, was his demeanor. This kid is smart. This kid has a great fight IQ. So Misha was asking him, saying, hey, you know what did you do after the fight? Did you go out and drink? Did you go celebrate? And he went, no. After every fight, I go in and I watch tape for hours.
Okay, yeah, I remember you telling me this.
And he starts breaking down what he did, what the other guy did, what he could do better, what he needed to work on. That is something that a kid doesn't do.
I'm going to take a pause here so I can explain to people that did not see this fight. Israel Adesanya took this guy apart on every level. If it was me and I just did that to somebody, you don't need to watch the tape. You took the guy apart on every level. He 100% had control of the octagon, had control standing up, takedown defense. I mean, he just owned it. And the fact that he came, when you talked to him, he said, hey, I went back and watched the tape. That's true discipline, honestly.
It was nuts. So he was fighting a very game fighter in Brad Tavares. Very game fighter. Brad Tavares is by all accounts, a monster.
That's right. I forgot it was Brad Tavares. That's right.
Just a monster. And this kid is new to the fight game. I mean, after that fight, he's 14-0, but he's kind of newer coming into the UFC, and literally just embarrassed Brad Tavares, a very game fighter, with just ridiculous, just picked him apart in every way. He
really did. And honestly, going into that fight, Steve, I said, hey, Brad Tavares at that point was on a run. He was making guys not necessarily look bad. He was taking them apart just in a beastly manner.
Yeah.
Not technically, but just overpowering.
Yes, 100%. And
Adesanya, Israel just really took that away from him.
So I'm very excited to watch this kid. He's fun to watch. He's exciting. But now here, so this to me is the test for Israel. This is the test. He is fighting the number 6 ranked in Derek Brunson, who's again making his way. He's Derek Brunson is a few wins out of a title shot. And
you're right. He is absolutely.
And Israel's going to now fight a seasoned veteran who's been around, who's fought people, and he's now going to be tested. And I'm very excited about this to see. Not that Brad Tavares wasn't, but he's not ranked number 6.
Well, he's not ranked number 6, and he's not as well rounded as Brunson is.
Correct.
And I'm not saying Brunson is the most well rounded guy in the division. He is not. But this is going to be a test for Israel. You're right.
If Israel does to Derek Brunson what he did to Brad Tavares, I am on that hype train. I don't want to get off.
I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. If he does what he did to Brad Tavares, to Derek Brunson, as far as stopping the takedown, landing elbows on the way in, landing knees, the guy needs a title shot instantly. Because Derek Brunson, I'm going to tell you, the guy has had a slow grind on his way up. Derek Brunson, he's not going to overwhelm you with his flash. The guy is a solid fighter. If Israel Adesanya comes out and just disgraces that guy, give him a title fight right now. The reason I'm saying this, Steve, is because I've watched all the tape on this guy. His Muay Thai tape. He has Muay Thai fights where he is disgracing guys.
Right.
After a year of training. The guy he's one of those John Jones
and he's undefeated.
Freaks, and he's undefeated. He just has so much talent that he can be that guy that he has 2 ranked fights and he needs a shot.
This is going to be his 4th fight in the UFC, second rank.
If he does that,
I'm going to have to say if he does that, he needs one more. He needs a top 5. He beats a top 5, he gets a title shot. I've just never been...
I'm with you.
I've never been a fan of the, hey, you look really great against good people. I want to see you look good against great people.
Well, I'm going to call you on that then. When John Jones came through the ranks and he destroyed Stephan Bonner and then destroyed Matt Hamill, granted, he lost that fight to Matt Hamill because of the 12-6.
Yeah.
He got that title fight real quick after that.
But
do you not think Adesanya is on that level? I think he might be.
The middleweight division of the UFC is filled with killers right now.
This kid's a killer.
I agree. I agree.
If he does not dismantles Derek Brunson, you're not going to give him that at least maybe one more shot for a title. What do you think?
I think he needs one more fight.
Okay, one more.
I think he needs a top 5, and he needs to win decisively against Brunson, and he needs to win decisively against the top 5, and then he gets a title shot.
Okay. I won't argue that. I will say the kid is talented. If he goes out and destroys Brunson, what do you think his best matchup is to get that title shot?
Because again, he beats Brunson.
Does he fight Till?
No, he fights the winner of Souza Weidman.
Okay. I like that.
He fights the winner of Souza Weidman, and then that winner fights Whitaker. Or, well, no. Let's take a step back there. Yeah. Because right now, that's a whole separate fight right now.
You're right.
But Robert Whitaker is a monster. You think Israel Adesanya right now, if he beats Brunson, should fight Robert Whitaker?
All right. I think he probably should fight him the way it goes. I don't think he wins that fight.
Okay. So, let's take 2. Let's go start going through the rankings here. So, Souza Weidman fight. Whoever wins, they should probably get a title shot, right? We already kind of said maybe one of them, that's title implications.
That is title implications.
So, one of them gets to fight it. So, then Israel wins and beats Brunson decisively. He fights Luke Rockhold.
Who?
Rockhold.
Oh, sorry. I just hadn't heard that name in a while. Luke Rockhold, now we're bringing him up. Didn't he get beat by Michael Bisping, who's a retired nobody?
I mean,
what was Rockhold's last fight?
Yeah.
Losing to Michael Bisping.
Look,
so I'm not trying to poo-poo on your parade here, but Rockhold's got to fight somebody to get back into that number one contention area in my book anyway.
Okay, but what about him saying that he wants to go to light heavy?
Okay.
Rockhold, so he might not even be in the division.
That's fine with me. Rockhold right now for his career knows that's probably not a good idea because light heavyweight has been evacuated by a lot of talent. They've been dodging Jones and they've been dodging Cormier. Who's there?
Well, I think you just used in the same sentence the name Luke Rockhold and John Jones, which I don't think should have ever happened.
Okay, sure.
But I mean, I agree. Yeah, but I think Israel needs one more fight. He needs one more fight before he gets Whitaker. He needs one more fight. You don't beat Derek Brunson and then fight Robert Whitaker. You just don't.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Like it's just not gonna happen. Now, one of the only other fights that I really want to talk about on this card on the prelims is the Sajara fight. So Sajara is now, instead of which kind of sucks, right? Instead of the main event, you are the co-main of the prelims.
Well, as a fan, it doesn't suck at all. As a fan, it is what it is.
Right.
It's what you wanted. Because I think everybody in the MMA community really revolted when they saw that. Because we had been waiting and waiting and waiting for something amazing. It was going to be a Conor. It was going to be a Brock. It was going to be a John Jones. And then it was, so Josh, a Eubanks fight?
So,
not to poo-poo on her.
Right.
But, I mean, her first fight, she missed weight by 8 pounds, guys.
Skipping back here, I apologize. We already know Whitaker's next fight, which is, as we know, going to be the winner, or I'm sorry, not the winner, but he's right now he's coaching on Tough, Heavy Hitters Tough this season, and so he's gonna fight Kevin Gastelum at the end of the season. So what if the loser of that fight, whether it be Whitaker or Gastelum, fights Israel? Then that next fight becomes. Then Jacare and Weidman get the winner of Whitaker Gastelum. Then Israel gets a shot. Do you see what I'm saying? It's too soon for Israel to get a shot.
No, I absolutely
There's too much other going on in that division.
Yeah, so, I absolutely see what you're saying now. I really wasn't thinking deep on it.
Right.
I mean, if we really want to get into it, I mean, we don't really want to touch on it, but that Tough fight.
Tufts, that's a whole nother, yeah. That's another card coming up. But Sajara Eubanks, I'm sorry, just kind of skip back to that. Sajara is fighting the Happy Warrior, Roxanne Modafferi, who Roxanne is one of those you love her or hate her because she's either too happy and you hate her and you're like she doesn't take this seriously, but she wins fights. She
goes out and fights is the thing.
She does.
She goes out and fights.
Both seasons that she was on of Tough.
She loses.
She's lost both seasons, but she's a very legit game opponent.
She is a gamer.
So
what I will say is she is an absolute gamer.
Right. I'm excited for that fight. I'll watch Sajara Eubanks and Roxanne Modafferi on the prelims, 100%.
Okay.
I'm game for that fight.
What's your prediction there? Because
the thing
you know about Roxanne is she's a gamer, but every time you watch her, you just wish she would have picked up a little bit more technique in this last fight camp. And she never seems to have picked up enough in order to win the fight, and she ends up losing, which is a heartburner for somebody who has followed all the way through. It makes it tough to watch her.
Sajara Eubanks is going to run through Roxanne. Sajara Eubanks is the closest thing to Cyborg that I think we've seen.
And I wish I could protest that just because I do like Roxanne.
I do too.
But there's absolutely...
Sajara Eubanks just throws hands.
She throws hands.
Heavy hands.
And she's got power all the way through the core.
And does
to where when...
Killer instinct.
Yep.
She makes weight, and I mean, great. But
does she make weight?
I don't know. That, I mean, missing weight by a pound is uncalled for. 2 pounds is really uncalled for. 3 or 4 pounds, and what are you doing? 7 pounds?
Steve, you know I'm in the camp.
We're almost in a second different weight class at that point.
Steve, you know I'm in the camp where I've grown up through the ranks where you have to make weight. If you don't make weight by 2 pounds, Jesus Christ, you weren't even close. 7 pounds, and that's
it's
your
unreal.
job.
It's unreal.
It's a disgrace.
And I think a lot of that had to do with the weight classes, right? Women don't have as many weight classes as men, and now we're opening up. We just opened up the higher weight class of 145 for Cyborg and everything. So does she go to 145? Does she try to fight for the belt at 145? Like,
I think she goes to 145 and she realizes she should have cut some fucking weight.
You know what I want to see? Cyborg versus Sajara Eubanks. Just stand in the middle of the octagon and throw punches at each other. Just stand there. And remember that fight with Max Holloway where he pointed at the canvas and it was like, let's just sit here and throw punches? That's what Cyborg and Sajara Eubanks would do to each other. Now, again, should I have said those two names together so soon? No. But
yeah,
I mean,
jumping
Cyborg,
the shark a little bit.
I mean, I'm sorry, Sajara is that good. She really is. But again, very unprofessional in missing that much weight.
Yeah, I like where you're coming from on the enthusiasm of her. She is talented. For me, when you miss that much weight, I'm gonna write you off instantly because I'm upset. I'm upset as somebody who's had to cut weight and make weight. When you, as a professional, this is your goddamn paycheck,
right? And
you miss by that much, you didn't even fucking try.
Right.
So that I have a rub with her. Other than that, I think she's absolutely going to go through Roxanne, and that's a hard thing for me. I like Roxanne.
I do too.
She's not talented. She's a hard worker.
So I will end on this note to spike another conversation that we need to have.
Okay.
But a quick question. Because of these weight cuts. Weight cuts is a big topic.
It really is, and it's becoming more and more a thing in the last year and a half, 2 years.
What do we do? I don't want your answer now. But what do we do? Do we open up more and more weight classes? Dana White is saying hell no. He said that is the last thing we are going to do. Do we stop them from cutting that much weight? I mean, so I pulled up the statistics of the fight the other day. So they say the general kind of healthy-ish, if you will, is going to be 7 to 10% of your like when you're going to regain after, right?
Okay.
7 or 10% of your body weight that you're going to regain before the fight.
Sure.
People are gaining another 6, 7, 8 pounds.
Sure.
On the last UFC card, the smallest amount was 14%. It was 14 to 19% weight gain from time of weigh-ins to actual fight time of rehydrating. So that means they're cutting.
Hold on, that was the smallest percent, or that was the
smallest?
Okay. I was gonna say I'm a lighter guy, and
this goes back all the way. So last fight, you want to say smaller guy, DJ.
Okay.
15% gain on his last fight against Henry Cejudo.
So DJ,
he gained 15% of his body weight back in 24 hours. So that means the cut that they are making is insane. Now, DJ's never really had a problem with his cutting. But people in general, Kevin Gastelum's about to fight, right? Robert Whittaker.
Yeah.
How many times has he missed weight?
Okay. So from my experiences of cutting weight, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's on the low end of extreme. The big part...
That's extreme.
That's extreme, but that's on the low end, right? DJ, he really walks around pretty close. Okay, some of these guys are cutting fucking 20% body weight.
And
okay?
girls. And
girls. That's a big deal. When you're talking 12%.
Well, I'm saying that's their gain. That's what they gained back before the fight.
Right.
So they're obviously cutting more than that.
Exactly. When you're a guy that weighs 135 pounds and you're cutting 13%, you're cutting 16 pounds over.
That's a lot.
It is, but when you're talking about guys in the heavyweight division, light heavyweight,
you got Brock cutting from 320 to 265.
You got guys. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. Is you have guys that are fighting at 185 that walk around at 215, and then the next day after weigh-ins are back at 205.
Yeah. So.
And I've experienced this. You go in, you weigh in for a guy to wrestle him, and within 12 hours the guy just gained 15 fucking pounds.
He went to IHOP. We used to go to IHOP.
All he did was he sucked in water.
Yeah.
And the vascularity and the muscles picked it up.
We used to wrestle on, we'd weigh in, and then we'd go to IHOP.
Yeah.
And then we'd pass pancakes and come back for the wrestling match.
Anybody that's been out there and competed understands when you touch a guy after he really weighed back up, he hydrated.
It's different.
It is very different. And if you haven't, it is a different thing. Yeah. And I understand for these guys that don't cut huge weight, it's a thing.
This is definitely a topic that we're going to cover soon.
It's a big issue in professional fighting.
So UFC 230, Saturday, November 3rd, Madison Square Garden. Going to be huge. Going to be big.
It's going to be a big card, guys. Everybody wants to watch it.
Quick. Let's see. One more time, run through it for me. Cormier versus Lewis. Who do you got? Win.
Second round TKO.
Woo! Weidman versus Souza.
That's going to be a decision either way.
Okay. You not pick side.
Shit. If we're going to go decision, I'm going to go Weidman.
Okay. I'll definitely take Souza on that one, I think.
Okay.
I like Chris, but I think Souza's going to win.
Okay.
Branch or Cannonier?
Branch all day.
I think so, too.
Decision. Decision or choke out.
Yeah, you don't think he knocks him out?
No.
Okay. Robinson or Merriman? Or Marshman, I'm sorry.
I don't know enough about either of the guys, so I'm going to go decision.
I think on that one, I think Carl submits him. Sometime probably in the second or third.
Okay.
Probably the second or third.
I'll go with you on that.
Yep. Brunson or Israel?
Israel all day.
How does he win?
He's going to knock him out. Head kick. I'm going to call it, Steve.
Brunson's got a chin.
I'm going to call it, Steve.
He's got a chin.
Head kick or Muay Thai knee. I'm telling you. Have you seen the guy's Muay Thai videos?
He's nuts.
He was fighting in Thailand.
I know it.
He's nuts.
Yep. All right, my friend. Saturday, November 3rd. That's this week. That's 2 days.
Saturday, baby. Weigh-ins tomorrow.
Yeah?
Hey.
Early morning.
These guys miss weight tomorrow. We're going to talk, and we're going to rip them a new one. You're a professional fighter.
At Madison Square.
Madison Square.
You don't miss weight.
It hasn't even been a year since they've been allowed there.
You don't miss.
You don't miss.
You don't.
Hey, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Indeed. Welcome to MMA Sickness. We're glad to have you guys. We will see you next time.
Next.